To say the Witcher series is weird is a bit of an understatement. I don't mean that in a bad way. The Witcher games are absolutely fantastic and three of the most ambitious games that I think I've ever played. But what's so weird about them is the fact that they're the first large video game franchise that I have ever seen, and the world pretty much has ever seen, that has been based off of books written back in the 1990s. Andrzej Sapkowski began the series all the way back in 1992 with the first book that he called Sword of Destiny. Then he released Last Wish, Blood of Elves, Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire, The Tower of the Swallow, The Lady of the Lake, and Season of Storms, with Season of Storms being the most recent release that he's done. The thing that's weird about the series isn't the fact that it's from Poland or that nobody knew the book series outside of Poland until the games were released worldwide. It's because it's the first book series to ever be adapted into a high-profile video game franchise, and a highly successful video game franchise at that. For example, The Witcher 3 currently holds the world record for most Game of the Year awards, at a whopping 258, and the only other game to come close to that at the time of writing this video is The Last of Us Part 2. Normally when we see book series adapted into entertainment, it's in movie franchises such as the Harry Potter series or the Hunger Games series. However, that changed when the Polish development studio CD Projekt Red released the first Witcher game back in 2007. The first game didn't do nearly as well as its sequels, however, it did just good enough that CD Projekt Red had faith that a sequel would do better. I only recently just got into the series with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and I never played the first or second games on release. I remember playing the second game for a tiny bit when it was free on Xbox 360 when Microsoft released it as a free gold game that month. I remember only playing a little bit of the tutorial before writing it off as just another game that I didn't really want to play, mainly just because it was a little complicated for me and I was quite young back then. I don't remember quite how old I was. I was probably somewhere around 14 or 15 when I played it for the first time. So sitting down and learning all new mechanics in an entire new game with a long story just didn't really interest me back then. Although now, after playing The Witcher 3 for about 60 hours and I'm still going, I wish I could go back and tell myself, hey, you need to play this game because you're missing out on such an incredible world and story that I know that I would have loved back then. Regardless of that, right now I'm playing through The Witcher 3 as well as reading through the books, and I also own The Witcher 1 and 2 on PC, so after I'm done with The Witcher 3 I will be playing those two as well. Many people have made videos on the games, but not very many people have made videos on the books. And while the games aren't directly based off of the books and take place 5 years after the end of the last book, there are still a lot of hidden references and Easter eggs related to the books in some of the events that happen in them. I plan to review the series as I go, starting with the books and going in order and releasing videos on the games after I have finished all the books and have given the time that is needed to really deep dive into the games and analyze everything that CD Projekt Red has painstakingly put into the games. I realize this is a large undertaking, mainly because if you've seen Joseph Anderson's first video on The Witcher 1, you'll know that he took about 5,000 hours for the entire series. And while I don't plan to spend that much time on them, I do want to do the series justice, so I will take as much time as I need to ensure that the videos I make on them are high quality and very well thought out. I'm hoping to have the first video on the first book out here within the next few weeks, as I will be going through those first, mainly because the games will take me a lot longer to make videos on and finish. Right now, I'm quite new to making YouTube videos, so I'm still learning about everything that goes on with them, so I'm doing my best to give the highest quality that I can. So please bear with me for the first few videos if it's rough. I'm hoping to really get the hang of this after a couple videos. I used to stream on Twitch a little bit, but never really got into making YouTube videos, so this whole process is very new to me. But I promise by the next video, the quality will significantly increase. As for this video, I'm just trying to really announce that I'm working on this project and dip my toes in the water of video recording and getting all the awkwardness out at first, since I'm not used to recording my voice or editing together lots of footage. I'm not quite sure how long each video will be, but as of right now, I'm aiming around an hour for each video. Obviously, the videos on the games are going to be much longer than an hour, as there's quite a lot to cover and go over. With the videos that I'm going to be doing on the books, my main goal is to really just summarize the story and give context to certain things that happen throughout the games that many people might not know if they haven't read the books. Now, if you've already read the books, please feel free to skip over my book videos, as it's probably just going to be redundant information for you. But if you haven't read the books, then I highly recommend that you do read them, and if at the least, just watch the book videos that I do, just so you have an idea of what's going on and context that I'll be referencing in my game videos. Now, the videos that I will be doing over the games will be a little bit different from anything that I've seen, and I will be obviously going over the gameplay, going over the story, but I will also be comparing certain details from the books to the games and seeing how well they translate from literature to video games, as, like I said previously, the Witcher games are the first high-profile video game franchise to be based off of books, at least to my knowledge. I really do hope that anyone that does watch the videos, whether it be the book ones or the game ones, does learn something new about the series, as well as just enjoys the content that I make. Like I said earlier, I'm quite new to this, so it's going to be a little rough for a bit, but I promise over time I will get better, and the quality of the videos and all the editing and voiceover will improve with time. And with that being said, that's pretty much all I have to talk about right now, so expect the first book video to come out within the next 3 to 4 weeks, and then after that I will try to remain consistent with a new video on the series coming out every 2 to 3 weeks. But I'm not going to hold myself to that, because again, I want to give myself the time that I need to really do the series justice. So if you would like to stay up to date with how the series is coming along and where I'm at, and if there will be any delays in video uploads, then please feel free to follow me on social media. I have all those links in the description, as well as on my channel page. Subscribe and like the video if you want. And with that, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.